Hello everyone, how are y'all? Happy to be back with another live card video for you. Today we'll be making a Christmas card, but I'm going to be trying something that I don't know if it'll work, but we're here to experiment and learn. And so I'm going to try and do something. If it doesn't work, I'll just cut another piece of paper and we'll start again. It's not going to be that bad at all. So let me say hi. Hello, Miss Karen. How are you tonight? I'm going to be using the Candied Apple and Mowed Lawn Distress inks for our background blending. I also have the Comfort and Joy card making Stampin' Thin Cuts because I want to use this Merry Christmas sentiment. Hey, Christy. Hello, Kara and Krista, if y'all are watching. Let's see here. I also have this flowery stencil. Hopefully you can see the design. I don't know if that helps. Oh, that if I raise it up, you can see. So it's just kind of a big old flower. And then I have some Jingle Joy paper, this black and white cross plaid, I don't know, doodly kind of stripes. Cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And I also have a piece of cardstock cut to that same dimension, because once we do our stenciling and our background and everything, then I'll cut it down using the rectangle thin cuts. So I'm gonna just place down my card and kind of see whereabouts I want the stencil. I want to have a good amount of one of the big flowers on here so that you can obviously tell what it is, and then everything else is just kind of gonna be filling in the card. Now, let me see. I think I'm gonna take this pad out. And actually, let me flip this so that I get the tacky side. And I'm just kind of angling it a little bit. So hopefully everything will kind of stick with that little bit of tack that's on my all-purpose mat. And I'm just going to do some blending with the Candied Apple. Let's see, where's my blending brush? Okay, I've got my blending foams just velcroed to the back so that I have one for each color and I don't mix them up. And so I'm just gonna kind of start in the center here and go out so that the center is a little bit darker red. And yes, I'm gonna start out here and come in. Start in here and come in. Okay, I really want this center part the darkest. Okay, and I think I've got everything else kind of situated on that mat. And I feel like I move this a little. Just kind of lining it back up. Just that tiny bit. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to add Versamark on it and then emboss it with clear, because I'm gonna try, and try is the operative word, and I didn't add any what do you call it, any of my little powder, but what I want to do is emboss it so that if I put green ink over it, it can resist. Now it looks really pretty like this, so I could could have just gone with it like that, but I'm experimenting tonight because I've got time and I really want to see what happens. So hopefully it should have just taken the embossing ink, of course, right where the stencil was open. And you know what, even if it doesn't match exactly, because I know it shifted a little, I think it'll be okay. Because it'll, it's clear embossing, so it shouldn't matter. Let me see, where's my tweezers? Let me get my heat tool. I could have even sprayed that with water first to give the red some little droplets. But I don't guess we have to try all the techniques at once. Okay, so far it's working. We're getting that clear melted all over the red. Okay. It looks like everything's melted. That looks really pretty just as it is. So I'm hoping that the embossing will give us the exact resist that we need. While that cools down, I'm just gonna wipe my all-purpose mat, and I'm just using my wet chamois. I probably shouldn't have rubbed that powder into it. Let me see here. I'm gonna use a paper towel to wipe everything off. And I'm even gonna spray my stencil so I can wipe it down too. Try and wipe with the grain, but since it's a flower, I'm just kind of rubbing it back and forth. Let's see here. Hi, Lily. Hi, Shiva. Okay, there's my stencil. I'll put that away. I'm gonna have to clean that a little bit better, but that's not important right now. Ah, it is important right now. Okay, let's go for it. So everything feels nice, and you can see all that gloss. We're gonna see what happens when we use a green to blend over it. And I'm hoping it works out. But if not, we'll just cut another one and we'll just go with the red. So I'm just gonna blend the green all over. And so far it is resisting, so that's good. And then we'll wipe it off the embossed parts. I need a clean paper towel. I don't want to put my hand in it and then get fingerprints. So obviously wherever the embossing didn't get just perfect, there's going to be little green imperfections, and I think that's going to be really nice and organic. So I'm going to do more darker, more color around the edge. Yes, it doesn't matter. Let's get that put aside. And let's wipe down our embossed areas so that that red can surely shine through. Awesome. That worked out really well. Very, very good. Okay, now I am going to spritz it with water because I want the green to react, but the red's not going to because it's already sealed underneath. Oh, it looks really, really good. So I'm going to give it a few seconds for that water. You can see it reacting. And then I'm going to stop it. Okay. I'm going to have to wash this thing down. Okay. So now I can take my stitched rectangle and cut that out real quick. Actually, let me heat set that. It's a little soft from the water. I'm not trying to reactivate, so I don't want to hit it too hard, but I do want my paper to dry. Okay. And let me just run it through my die machine. Through my die cutting machine. It's not connecting. There we go. There we go. Okay. Nice and clean cut. Super pretty. All that nice texture from that water reaction. Okay, so now let's bring my mat back in so that I can work. I'm just going to adhere it to this patterned paper. To give it that border and set it off before we add it to the card, but I'm not going to add anything just yet. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to take a piece of black cardstock, and I want to emboss the sentiment on here. So I'm using my anti-static pouch, making sure I get rid of any little staticky parts that'll stick to my card. And I really like the way this sentiment, Merry Christmas, the way that looks. So I'm gonna stamp it and emboss it on there. And then I'm gonna use the thin cut that matches it just to cut out that shape. I'm gonna emboss it in white just to keep it clean. We'll see what that looks like. I've got my white embossing powder here. Oh, looks like it ought to melt down very nicely. Go around, get it all melted. I don't want to overdo it so that the powder mix doesn't shift on me. I had that happen the other day and it just kind of made a mess. So now I'm just getting out the coordinating die. That'll just cut that out all nice and neat. I'm just gonna hold it down with some washi tape. Okay, we run it through very quickly. All right, there we go. So I just want to add that on, like no big deal. Nothing super, you know, difficult. So I'm just going to take a piece of string and I'm going to make a knot in it. Just a little square knot like that. And let me cut off those ends. I'm hoping that it will reach around the card. It does. So I want to kind of just place it like that and put that right next to it. And just keep it simple. So I'm gonna run some glue on it. I need it to make it around, so. If I add that there, does this go around? And it makes it around, awesome. Actually, I have a little bit of room to play. There we go. It just wraps around nice and neat. Just want to make sure my knot goes up and down like that so it doesn't get in the way. I'll place that down with some foam tape. Oh, hold on. Let me add this, since it's flat, to my card base. I'm just making sure that I get some good adhesion and that I put it on the ends of those ribbons too, so they'll stay down on the card. So pretty easy card, and yet we still got some techniques in there. And let me see. Maybe add some white dots. Bring in a little bit more white from the card. I don't know how far out to place it. Hey, Chris. I'll just place that one up there. I've got my 3 kind of going down at an angle. And that's actually all I want to do to it. I just wanted to keep it simple, something that didn't take too much time, but still had a fun technique in it. It certainly has the texture from the embossing. You can totally see the shininess from the embossing. And then, of course, you see all that distressing. You get your embossed and die cut sentiment. You got some ribbon, some pattern paper. So we're doing good here. We got lots of stuff going on, still keeping it very, very simple, very easy to duplicate and just make more of to send out. So I hope that you'll try this. Make some cards of your own. If you're making anything, whether it's scrapbook pages, layouts, you know, some other kind of paper crafting that you've got going on, please send me photos of your work or post it in the group. We want to see, we want to share, we want to, you know, cheer you on and give you some support. But also, you'll be entered to win just a little prize for me at the end of the month. I've got a cute, cute little exclusive stamp set that you can't buy. Only consultants can get them. To give away in cases like this, to have little prizes and fun stuff to play games with. So I want to give that to one of you. Send me your photos or post your own photos, and at the end of the month I'll choose a winner, and we'll do that every month. Let's do it every month. I want to encourage y'all to be creating just like I'm doing. So thanks for joining me tonight. Remember, we are on a new schedule, so I come on live on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then Saturdays and Sundays. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.